Four, we are ready. Oh, we are on the air. Hi, I'm Idalis Leone, and you are watching Idalis Media TV. I am a broadcast talent coach. Okay, let me put something on the screen so you're not looking at nothing. Hold on one second, guys. There you go. I am a broadcast brand talent coach and talent producer. That means I work with pro broadcasters, news reporters, anchors of the like, red carpet reporters, and TV hosts. Late night talk show hosts, all kinds of people who have to speak in front of the camera, write a story, and then tell a story on camera. I do media strategy for fashion and beauty companies like Moët Chandon and Smashbox Cosmetics. Lots of big beauty and fashion people come to me because I'm from New York. I grew up in New York, so fashion and beauty was a big part of my life. So I target those clients, and they come and see me, find me, and we do media strategy for them, help them put their YouTube channel up, create a media strategy, brand broadcasters. And I'm going to be here with, this is a 7-part series. You are going to watch the 7 practices of doing and conducting a great interview with a celebrity. In this video series, we're going to introduce you to my latest program, which is the Art of the Interview, the Master Class. And if you want to be part of that, go down below, sign up to the IDALIS Wix link where it says workshops coming soon. That link right below, and you can get on the newsletter. You'll get information from us, and we'll send you information on how to sign up and register. You can also give us a call. The number is below as well, and we can get you started. This week is 50% off, so it's a good time to get started. So that's it. That's the business for that. Let's start the class, the 7 practices to conducting a celebrity interview. I actually picked a really fantastic interview we're going to analyze today. Let me just show you that. I picked, where'd it go? Lance Armstrong and the Oprah Winfrey interview. This is a great interview to study. We're going to be studying that in a second, but let me go over the 7 practices first. And this is video 1 in a 7-part series that you're watching. And video 1, let me go over the 7 practices first. So the first 4, so practice 1 through 4, are what to do before the interview. What are these practices that you do before the interview? And 5 through 7 are the practices you do during the interview. So here are the 7 things that you should do. The first 4 will be before the interview, and the last 3 will be during the interview. So practice number 1, preparation is key. And I know you're watching video 1, but actually today we're going to be going over practice number 2, the first question. We're going to show you how to open a great interview, how to have a great open, a great introduction, and how to really land that first question. The first question being one of the most important questions of the interview. That's what we'll be going over today. So practice number 1 is preparation is key. We're going to go over that tomorrow. The first question is practice number 2. We're going over that today. Practice number 3 is be concise, make it tight, cut to the chase, no rambling, no wasting chit-chat, get to the best stuff. We'll show you that in video 3, I believe. Practice 4, have a beginning, a middle, and an end. You'll see that in video 4. We'll show you how to create questions that flow and make the interview have an arc. In practice 5, you're going to lead the interview with relationship, very important. Be an advocate for both the audience and the guests. We're going to show you how to balance that. Practice 6, leave room for spontaneity, because that's important once you lay a foundation, which we'll show you how to do in this introduction. And if you want to go deeper, then you take my class. Just give us a call, and we'll give you that 50% off today. The sale is running till Wednesday for 50% off. Okay, practice leave room for spontaneity. Practice number 7. How to close the interview, how to do a memorable close, how to do a brand interview where you leave the audience informed and excited to see your next interview. So there we go. That's 7 principles of how to do a great celebrity interview. And we are going to focus on this one right here. Let's see right there, which is practice number 2. The reason I'm starting with practice number 2 in video 1 in this series is because preparation technique is a little I think, a little involved, and I think you need to see the splashy stuff, like how to start an interview. I think it gets you more excited. That's one of the keys to being exciting on camera, telling a story on camera, is like you want to pull people in. So start with the end in mind, or start with the second thing or the third thing, whatever is going to grab people. And I wanted to start with how you open an interview. How do you make it really compelling and exciting right out of the gate? And that involves coming up with the first question. We're going to use Lance Armstrong and Oprah Winfrey. We're going to open this up right now, and I'm going to show you the first question. Now, this is the very top of the interview. This is where Lance Armstrong was avoiding questions for years. He had been suspected of doping up for 7 Tour de France's that he won. I mean, pretty much was a world global hero, and then kind of fell from grace with the disclosure that he was doping up. He had never admitted it. That's part of the reason I think people were so really angry with him, because he kept on denying it, even though things were falling apart all around him. This was the first global interview, the first interview where he admitted on camera, and then I think he also apologized. Oprah got that interview. It's part of your life as a broadcaster is to try to nail really great interviews, and they can make your career if you get to be investigative and get lucky to get a great interview like this. So she had just said, hey, we're here in Austin, Texas, but we're going to start right after that. This is the very tippy top of the video. You're going to hear her ask the first question. So when you're preparing an interview, write this down. An interview is a story. You are telling a story through someone else's perspective, but it's your narrative, so it's still your story. So you're going to treat it like you're preparing a joke, like a stand-up, or you're preparing a story. So you wouldn't go on stage as a stand-up and freestyle it, would you? I don't understand why people freestyle interviews. It's really crazy, and unless you're Larry King, you can't really do that. And it really is not good, because it doesn't come out as well unless you prepare. So preparation is key. We're going to go over some preparation techniques tomorrow. But this first question, the first question, and coming up with first questions and the intro is important, because the first question the audience determines in a nanosecond whether they're going to watch any more of your videos. So it's really important and imperative that you make that first question really compelling, really awesome. Now, there's a thing called statement questions, where you can make a provocative statement and then ask the question. This is what Oprah does in this open. But what she does, instead of ask one question, she asks a series of not even multiple choice questions. It's a yes and no questions. She asks like 4 or 5 of them. I don't remember how many it is, but she asks like a bunch of them. So that, for our intents and purposes, that constitutes the first whole question. It's actually a few questions. So we're going to watch what she does. She does do a statement question. She actually makes 2 statements. Then she asks him a series of questions that ends up being the question number 1. This is how you open a compelling interview. Check out what she does with the 2 statements, and I'll tell you. I'll talk to you in a minute after you watch this. Check this out.
Texas. A few days ago, you texted to the Associated Press and said, "I told her to go wherever she wants." Her meaning me. And I'll answer the questions directly, honestly, and candidly. That's all I can say. Those are your words. Those are my words. When we first met a week ago today, we agreed that there would be no holds barred, and there would be no conditions on this interview, and that this would be an open field.
I think that's best for both of us.
I agree. So here we go, open field. So let's start with the questions that people around the world have been waiting for you to answer. And for now, I just like a yes or no.
Okay.
Okay. This whole conversation, we have a lot of time, will be about the details. Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
Yes or no? Was one of those banned substances EPO?
Yes.
Did you ever blood dope or use blood transfusions to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
Did you ever use any other banned substances like testosterone, cortisone, or human growth hormone?
Yes.
Yes or no? In all 7 of your Tour de France victories, did you ever take banned substances or blood dope?
Yes.
In your opinion, was it humanly possible to win the Tour de France without doping 7 times in a row?
Not in my opinion.
So when did you first start?
So that's how you open a compelling interview. She gave him yes and no questions to answer at first. Let me bring up the other piece of paper here. And I thought it was really interesting how she did that. Here's what she did, guys. When she first asked him and she opened the question, she obviously opened the interview with a few questions. For our intents and purposes, that is question number 1. Sit down and take your time with your open when you're talking to the guest, introducing the guest, and that first question, because that's really going to set the tone of the interview. And what she did in the first statement, so she made 2 statements. She first quoted the guest, which is really great to use their own words to open up the interview. And she quoted him saying to AP, which is Associated Press, that, you know, I'm going to be as honest as open with her as possible. She's going to be able to have no holds barred. She can do anything she wants. Then the second statement was a second disclaimer that she made a second disclaimer that they had an agreement that she could ask anything she wanted. So the audience would, she has the audience on her side, pretty much telling the audience that he said, I can ask anything, so that she wouldn't be culpable or look like she's, you know, grilling him or anything. Really smart how to open the interview. And then she asked him a series of questions, which is what everyone in the elephant in the room was, did you dope up? Yes or no? And it was a great way to start the interview, because that's really what people wanted to know. So really great open. So when you start to write your questions, really spend time on the intro of the guest, which they did through video. I didn't play the intro for you. We'll play that on another day. But they introed the guest with video clips. If you don't have video clips and can't do a promo for the guest, I would say then write a really quick, informative, entertaining introduction to the guest. Don't chit chat and go right to that first question. And that first question should be killer, should be really good, should be compelling, should be relevant to what's happening in the interview. You should interview people who are relevant, because that'll help also get you some great views. So opening, sitting and working on your first question is really important. Take your time, because that's going to set your interview. That's going to help you get ratings and make sure that the first question is the most important, compelling question, not only to you, but to the audience. So you first honor yourself, then honor the audience, then honor the guests. So you kind of have to work with the guests. You have to make them open, make them comfortable. We'll talk about that in video 5 or 6. I'm not sure which one's a relationship one. It's number 6, video 6. So the first question, really important. Sit down and write out that first question. Craft it, wordsmith it. Did Oprah prepare that first question? Wow, she prepared that. And how awesome was that first question? It was amazing. It gave the interview some context. It got rid of the elephant in the room, so we could focus and lean in and sit and think about the rest of the interview and just watch him. As far as his performance in this video, I don't want to really focus on that too much, but I will just say, when you are media training, and I do media train people the other side, when you are going to make a media appearance, you have to prepare just as much as the host does, because you're kind of, I tell my clients, don't sit there and receive the questions. Just don't sit there and receive them. Conduct the interview, be a co-host with the interviewer. What I would have told Lance, if he hired me to media train him for this, is I would have told him, be super spiritual before you come on there. Make sure you prepare the whole day for it, almost like you're preparing to go to a Buddhist monastery. Get your most positive, open, warm self. Bring that most positive, open, warm self that regrets losing, I don't know, somebody got shot, I think. It's great. Did you hear that, guys? I don't know if you heard it. Anyways, I think this firecracker going on. Make sure that you go in with a real open face. Like his face, I feel, was very tense. I feel he was a bit rightly so. I mean, it was the first time. He's basically thinks everything's going to collapse around him in that moment. But I think having a certainty face, more of a certainty and a through line, and saying, okay, I'll answer those questions as well as I can. And I think he could have done a little bit better. I think he did the best he could. I don't think he got media training for it, but I think he should have. And we won't rest on him. I really want to work on more the interview technique. So back to the host, back to Oprah. She really crafted his quote. That's a great way to use to open an interview, is with the person's quote. If they have great quotes, that's one of the parts of research that you'll do. And you'll find, and you can use their words against them or their words for them or to support them or whatever it is that you want to write. Because again, an interview is a story that you want to tell. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it should have an arc. So the open lays the groundwork for the story. A screenwriter once told me, you want to start with screenwriting as far into the story as possible. With an interview, you can really be creative. We can start with the end in mind, or we can start with, the middle, or you can start with, boom, the end, which is the questions, which I thought she was going to save that question for the very end of the interview, but actually was better to do it at the top. We will go over preparation technique tomorrow. So that is opening an interview. Sit down, craft it, wordsmith it, and then run it. Run the question, the intro into your first question, the introduction into your first question. This video had a video, this particular interview had a video introduction. If you're making an introduction, make sure you write it out and inform people on who you're interviewing, so they're all set up, so they know the person. Even if they don't know who it is, they actually are compelled in watching the interview and they know who they're watching. And it makes it more interesting for them. Thank you for tuning in. I'm doing a master class, so sign up below my newsletter. Also subscribe to my channel. It's very, what is that? I think they're shooting people here. This is not cool. You hear that, guys? Anyways, there's two just firecrackers, I think. I think July 4th is coming up, so that's probably why. So sign up for my newsletter, subscribe to my channel, share this. We will be here tomorrow. I think I will be tomorrow. I'm not going to do it live, but I will be doing another recorded interview. But on I'm not sure if it's Tuesday or Wednesday, the third video 3, I will probably be doing live. And then I can take some of your questions, which will be really cool. Okay, thanks for joining me. Make sure you sign up below, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.